In December, German inflation touched a 30-year high. Official statistics released Thursday indicated that German annual inflation climbed at its quickest rate in over 30 years, driven by increasing energy prices and supply constraints. Consumer prices increased by 5.3% on a year-over-year basis, the highest rate since June 1992, according to preliminary numbers released by Germany's Federal Statistics Office. 2021's annual inflation rate of 3.1% was the highest since 1993's year-end inflation rate of 3.0%. In 2020, it had risen to 0.5%. Inflation in the Eurozone may have peaked in November at a record 4.9%, according to the latest data from Germany, the Eurozone's largest economy. On Friday, the first Eurozone inflation estimate for December is expected to be released. Inflation in Germany is expected to rise to 3.6% in 2022, up from 1.8% in June, and 2.2% in 2023 and 2024, which is beyond the European Central Bank's (ECB) objective of 2%. Increased energy prices, supply chain interruptions brought on by the pandemic, and a temporary reduction in value-added tax (VAT) in 2020 all contributed to the acceleration, according to the Statistics Office. The tax break, which was instituted to lessen the economic effect of COVID-19 lockdowns, had not yet been taken into account in the December inflation figure. This raised the issue of whether inflation had reached its peak, or whether there would be a further, heretofore unanticipated increase, as KfW head economist Fritzi Kohler-Gabe put it. It's possible to do both. Price increases will likely slow as base effects are removed, but the speed at which bottlenecks or increases in energy prices will be alleviated remains uncertain. Prices of gasoline have risen sharply in Europe in recent months due to an increase in demand caused by the lifting of COVID-19 imposed limits in several countries. Further, geopolitical uncertainty in the region has contributed to the rise in gas prices. Western countries say that Russia is limiting gas deliveries in order to put pressure on Europe because of the Ukraine conflict. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which would send gas to Germany, is a controversial project. Officials in Germany's government and the central bank's policymakers anticipate inflation to moderate in the months ahead as temporary impacts such as the temporary VAT drop begin to fade in January. According to Commerzbank analyst Jörg Kramer, it is true that inflation should reduce after the turn of the year, partially owing to exceptional considerations. It's not only Germany that's at danger of inflation, the Eurozone is as well. To put it another way, the ECB needs to step back from the gas pedal. Around the turn of the year, the ECB forecasts inflation to reach its highest level. Inflation in the Eurozone is expected to dip to 4.7% in December from November's record 4.9% in a Reuters poll of experts scheduled for Friday at 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Recently, the European Central Bank, ECB, upped its inflation forecasts. It now expects consumer prices to rise by 3.2% in 2022, far higher than the 1.7% expected in September, while inflation will moderate to 1.8% in 2023, compared to the 1.5% forecast in September. There are indications that inflation may be more pervasive than previously assumed, but the European Central Bank, ECB, is sticking to its story that prices will fall back to its goal in late 2022.